Peace and riches blessings. I am Michael B. Beckwith, the host of Take Back Your Mind. Peace and blessings. I am Michael B. Beckwith, and welcome to Take Back Your Mind Life Question. Today, our first letter comes from Beatrice in Kenya, who says this: I've heard you say that the pain pushes until the vision pulls. I'm in that space now. The pain pushed me out of a life that no longer served me, and I don't know yet what vision is pulling me forward. How do you know which way to go when vision has revealed itself? And how do you balance trusting in divine guidance with taking action, especially knowing that faith without works is dead? Here's my story. I left a 16-year banking career because I knew I wasn't living my best life. I made excuses for staying, but over time I felt like I died inside. I had forgotten what brought me joy, and I experienced anxiety and insomnia. I took another job, but relief never came. So I quit after 6 months, which, where I come from, is unacceptable. Soon after, the stress caught up with me. I fell ill, had surgery, and thankfully recovered. Since then, I've been grieving the loss of structure and busyness, and I don't know what to do. I need to make a living, but I refuse to sell my soul like I did before. I have this deep, unrelenting desire to do something meaningful and fulfilling, but I don't know how to find it. Every day, my prayer is, God, speak to me in a way that is loud, clear, and unmistakable. How do I find my way from here? Beatrice, I think you're speaking for a lot of people, not just yourself. Thank you for the question. Pain pushes until vision pulls. First, let's break that down, what that means. The universe is progressive. So oftentimes the pain we feel is the universe pushing us because we've become stagnant in some area of our life. So it pushes us until there's a vision pulling us, until we're able to articulate the vision for our life and then take baby steps walking in that direction. There's the faith meeting action, walking in that direction until we're literally vibrationally pulled by a vision rather than just being pushed by pain. So you're in that space now that you left a job of 16 years because you just felt dead inside. You took another job, felt dead inside, and you want to know how to go from here. You said, every day my prayer is, God, speak to me in a way that is loud, clear, and unmistakable. Okay, that's a good start. But what I want you to do is to add this. Sit and actually ask. First of all, sit and feel that you're surrounded by divine love. Whatever you have to do that. You can remember a moment in which a friend, an ancestor, a grandparent, or whoever just loved you so completely. Sit in that feeling of love and then ask, what is it that's trying to emerge through me? Or, what is God's idea for my life? And sit in silence until you begin to catch the feeling or the image or a gut feeling or an intuition or a direct knowing as to the direction you are to move in life. Because it's always speaking to you. The broadcast is eternal, and there's always a part of you, the real part of you, that wants to unfold. So you have to ask that question sincerely. And you couple it with this. Now, I've been teaching this particular strategy that I'm about to give you 30 years, perhaps, probably longer. Because I've always been teaching that the universe, through law, always responds to the questions that you ask. I want you to ask something like, first of all, this: why are things always working together for my good? Ask that question. And then ask, why is it so easy for me to discover the next great thing that's trying to emerge in my life? In other words, put those things in the form of a question. Why are my needs always being met? Why am I being guided so easily? Why do things always work together for my good? You ask that question so that the universe will answer it. So one, you're asking to be pulled by a vision. You're sitting and you're asking a question: what is God's idea for my life? Or what is God's idea of itself as my life? As you're surrounded by a feeling of unconditional love. And then you ask a question, why do I always have more money than I need? Why do things always work together for my good? So you take what you want, but you take it as a question so that you're not bumping into the part of your mind that doesn't believe what you might affirm. That way you become available. What was the other thing you ask? God, speak to me in a way that is loud, clear, and unmistakable. That way you can begin to hear the word of God that's loud, clear, and unmistakable, because you've moved off of any sense of anxiety about it. You've asked, hey, why are things always working together for my good? As if it's already done. Because in the mind of God, it is done. You've snuck in there. And so for those of you who followed me, Agape is like, it's in the 39th year, and I've been teaching longer than 40 years. I've always added that to my teaching. The affirmations, yes, but always the questions, so that you become available to what's already happening. In so doing, you'll be putting action to faith, because once you start getting the inclination of the direction you're to go in, you take baby steps and walk in that direction. And let me ask one little thing, and this is not just for you, Beatrice, it's for anybody who's listening. If you are in a job that some people say is soul-sucking, in a job that you feel is not bringing you, it's not conducive for your peace of mind and your soul satisfaction, until you leave that job, you let that place be an area of service for you. In other words, as I was speaking recently at Agape, you go there to give more than you get. You're not going there to get happiness. You're not going there just to get paid. You're going there to be of service at that particular environment that may not be your permanent environment, but you're going there of service. You're bringing a certain attitude. You're bringing a certain energy. You're bringing a certain consistency. You're bringing a certain excellence, whatever it is that you're called to do. And you know what that does? That activates this law. The universe is now in your debt, because if you give more than you get, the universe doesn't want to be in your debt. The universe will pay you, reward you openly, will move you into a different space or expand the space you're in. So hold that as an energy, whoever's listening. You think you're in a space too small? You might be. Give more than you're getting. The universe will move you into a different space. Beatrice, thanks for asking that question. I think you helped a lot of people. The next letter comes from Andrea. And she says this: over the past few years, I have been committed to a life that is devoted to spirituality, expanding my awareness, and trying to really understand myself and others and meet them with love and compassion. Most of the time, I feel very grounded, connected, and full of deep love and joy. Beautiful, Andrea. I love being in that space because it's when I feel the most connected to Source. But every once in a while, I feel blindsided with a deep longing not to be here anymore, to go home, and a crushing sense of loneliness that confuses me. Sometimes when I'm deep in my gratitude and I think about God, I cry. But it doesn't feel like tears of joy. Instead, I feel a heaviness and a sadness. Is this a stage in my process that just needs to be worked through? And she says, thank you. First of all, I'm overjoyed that most of the time you're feeling grounded, connected, full of deep love and joy. Beautiful. You feel like you're connected to Source. Beautiful. Every once in a while. And what happens is, as we, let's say, expand our awareness and our frequency is faster than it used to be, the oscillation of our vibration has increased. What happens is that which was normal to us, thought forms, beliefs, opinions, perceptions, they begin to rise into awareness to be disintegrated. It's called a clearing. It's called chemicalization. And oftentimes when that's occurring, we don't feel good. It's almost like when you're fasting and you're not eating anymore, and then you go through before you get to a period of clarity and connection, you go through a cleansing of the previous toxins that your body may have been holding on to. Same things happen spiritually. As you're feeling deeply connected as you write here, full of love and compassion, and you're able to stabilize that frequency until it becomes a wave in you and a signal to the universe, they will become, it says like this, Mama said there'd be days like this, there'd be days like this, my mama said. Remember that song? Well, there are days that come up in which your vibration has stabilized at a higher frequency, and everything unlike it bubbles up to be released. And when that occurs, sometimes you feel sad. Sometimes you feel like you don't want to be here anymore. Sometimes you feel like you're going backwards. Sometimes you feel like you're lost. But you keep coming back to the fundamentals. And eventually it'll pass, dissolve. Now here's the deal. When you feel like you want to go home, in the traditional teachings, home was when you died physically and you went to some place. But today we know, as Yeshua ben Joseph, otherwise known as Jesus the Christ, said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand now, not just when the body dies. So when you feel like you want to go home, it really means that you want to go deeper into your awareness of your oneness with the Source. Don't mistake that you have to die to go home. The chemicalization reveals that you're dying to your littleness. You're dying to those parts of you that feel disconnected. That's what's dying, so that you can feel at home right here and right now. And then what do? You carry that with you everywhere you go. Even when it's time for you to evacuate the body, you carry your expanded consciousness everywhere that you go. So Andrea, beautiful question. I hope I shed light on it for you and for everyone else who's listening. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Take back your mind. Open your heart. Peace and dynamic blessings. Many of you have written letters about how much you really appreciate the Take Back Your Mind podcast and the life questions. So appreciate those letters. Now, our particular program here, these episodes, it's powered by spiritual purpose, but it also has powerful sponsorship. The primary sponsor is Agape International Spiritual Center. So everything that goes on here, Agape is behind it. So what I want you to do, I want you to support the Take Back Your Mind podcast. Go to agapelive.com, make a donation, put a little indication that you're supporting the podcast in that donation, or text the word give to 424-321-6243. Write the word podcast so we know you're supporting this wonderful program of Take Back Your Mind. The secondary sponsor is Neutralize. This is the company that actually produces my particular supplemental line called Adaptogen. I have the Super Greens, I have the Elevate fermented mushrooms, and a number of other products that are emerging. Just go to Neutralize.com, find Adaptogen, and you know what? Uplift your spirit, uplift your body. Remember to share all of this with your friends and support our wonderful sponsor. Have a beautiful day. Radical, dynamic blessings to you. This is our moment of the pause that refreshes. pausing from the world that's being projected from our mind based on our own opinions and points of view and perceptions and imprints that we've basically received from the world. We have a tendency to project that onto the screen of life. And so in this moment in meditation, we pull our attention away from that, the thinkingness, as well as the world that's been projected from us and projected by the sea of humanity, to become refreshed. Refreshed with what? Refreshed with the beauty and the love, the intelligence, and the life that's emanating directly from the source. Remember, there's that which is called the sea of mental garbage, which is thoughts and opinions that humanity is just broadcasting in the world. Then there is that which is shot directly from the source, which is called inspiration, transformational knowledge and intelligence and love and beauty. So as we meditate, we're pausing from the sea of mental garbage, and we're opening ourselves up to the eternal broadcast of the Spirit, which is pure inspiration. Stop in this moment and turn within. That is, extricate yourself from the world as it appears to be, the world of perceptions and points of view, appearances, opinions, and effects. Return within. Notice, as you turn within, the beating of your own heart is happening presently. If you're sensitive, you can be aware that there is life-giving blood moving through your veins, moving through your arteries, being released through your veins. Notice that the body's breathing. All of these automatic occurrences are pretty much happening without your participation. Blood flowing through the arteries and then through the veins, body breathing, heart beating. And so there is something back of all this. There's a life essence operating through us on a subconscious level. So as we turn our attention inward, let us give thanks that life is lifing. Let us give thanks that life is being itself everywhere and that it has personified itself as each and every one of us. Life is coming to know itself as us. It's coming to express itself as us. It's coming to be itself more completely as us. So there's no separation from source. The universal presence has individualized itself as each and every one of us. And what are we doing? We are universalizing our individual life, meaning all the qualities of the Spirit that are universal are becoming active within us. Love, beauty, intelligence. These are universal qualities that have been individualized, but now we're awakening to them so that we're universalizing them. So in this moment, as you stop and turn within, aware of the breath, the beating of the heart, the blood flow, keeping us present. Feel the depth of love emanating from your heart, your heart space. Feel the depth of peace, that universal presence becoming active in you now. Not based on a condition or circumstance. It's independent of circumstance or condition. It is intrinsic to your nature. You are love. You are peace. Let's take one more step. Be aware that you're at the very center of the universe, because the center is everywhere and the circumference is nowhere. So right here on this earth plane, you're at the center of the universe. But allow this universal presence called love, this universal presence called peace, this universal presence called harmony, to cascade from the depth of your being and embrace the very neighborhood you live in, the very city, the very state, the very nation, and expand beyond man-made borders. Every continent, every country on the planet is imbued with this love and this peace because we are at its center. Feel into that right now. Feel into the love, feel into the peace, and know that it is global and universal, active in your consciousness, and because you're at the center, it's active everywhere, because we're at one with all beings. Feel into this. Feel into this prayer, O great God of the universe. How wonderful it is to be awake, aware, and alive, and to come to know unequivocally that the presence of divine source is everywhere, becoming conscious of itself as each and every one of us. And as we're lifted up, we draw all sentient beings into a higher frequency of love and peace. And this is all happening now. We give thanks for this and allow it to be so. And so it is. Amen. As you open up your eyes, your physical eyes, carry the feeling tone of your oneness with Source, and that you are a mighty blessing everywhere that you take your body today. Have a bright one. Peace and blessings. Your time is very valuable, so I want to thank you for tuning in to Take Back Your Mind. If you want to submit a life question, please do so. Email us at podcast@michaelbeckwith.com. And perhaps one day I'll be answering your question that will touch the lives of so many. If you've enjoyed the show, you might as well submit a 5-star review. You might as well tell your friends and family. Let's spread the love. Until we meet again, maintain your awareness. Take back your mind. Because when you take back your mind, you take back your life. Peace and blessings.